Alienware might have gotten there first, but MSI is fairly sure that its attempt at putting a desktop CPU in a laptop will make you completely forget about the Area 51. MSI's new GT76 Titan is the company's new flagship hardcore gaming laptop, and it should be. It's a pretty big beast. Tucked inside that fairly substantial chassis is a socketable Intel Core i9. For the uninitiated, that means that you should potentially be able to swap it out if a compatible, more powerful chip comes along in future. At the same time, the company also says that you'll be able to swap out the RAM and SSDs because there's space for up to 120 gigabytes of RAM and 3 SSD bays should you need more storage. But of course, the big point of interest is the body itself, and you might notice that it's got a lot of junk in its trunk. That's to accommodate some very beefy cooling, and the company says it's taken 4.5 years to develop a cooling system capable of keeping a desktop chip cool and running efficiently. The cooling system has 4 fans, including 2 small ones that pump air out from the top of the case and 2 very beefy ones that push it out the back and the sides, and a series of polished heat pipes that help push a lot of the heat away from the silicon. And you know what? It's kind of like the world's worst hand dryer because you can definitely feel strong warm air blowing on your fingers, although I wouldn't go near it with wet hands myself. MSI wanted to build a machine that people could overclock simply by hitting turbo, and the software manager will do everything else. And the company promises that with a combination of this new cooling system and the software manager, you can push the chip to a fairly consistent 5 gigahertz. On a machine like this, the display is crucial, and you've got 2 fairly sizable options with that 17.3-inch display. You can either have a full HD 144Hz panel or a thin bezel 4K panel that's 100% Adobe RGB validated. This is pre-production hardware, and so you can't make any big claims, but we did play a little bit of Metro with ray tracing on, and frankly, the frame rate dipped a little bit, but it certainly wasn't embarrassing, and given that it is a fairly slender laptop, it can handle it. The company says that the machine will start filtering out in selected markets from next month. And of course, a machine like this does not come cheap. You're going to see prices starting from $3,600, rising all the way to $4,800 for the fully kitted out model. Stay tuned to Engadget for all of the great stuff coming out of Computex 2019.